This is lesson 3 of Fundamentals in the Theme Writing Strategy, the strategy steps. Any notes or assignments, make sure you put them in this part, this tab in your binder. So in the last lesson, we discussed the parts of a theme, and we talked about how a theme is like a tower. So let's quickly review the major parts of a theme. We have a title, an introduction, which is covered in an introductory paragraph, body, which uses detail paragraphs, and a conclusion, which uses concluding paragraphs. We also know that a theme is like a tower that can be different heights, but a tower is the analogy we're going to use, and we want our tower to have strong cement and stand up straight. We do not want a leaning tower. That will ruin our essay. So today we're going to talk about the steps of the strategy you will be using to write themes. This is the third lesson over here in our series of introductory lessons. We are still in this introductory lesson, and then you will begin practicing, or we have one more introductory lesson, and then you will begin practicing using the steps of the theme writing strategy. Today's lesson will help you understand what you will have to do for each of the 5 steps of the strategy that are shown in these ovals. As we discuss the theme writing strategy today, your job is to listen, watch the Edpuzzle, and take notes. As we talk about the steps of the theme writing strategy, you should fill out the notes listing the steps and describing what to do for each step. Keep these notes in your binder so you'll be able to refer to them whenever necessary. The strategy you will be learning for writing themes is sometimes called the tower strategy, which corresponds to the idea of a tower that is held together with strong cement. This strategy has 5 steps. The first step is the think step. In this step, you think about the topic and what you can say about it. If you're writing a short theme, you may have a lot of information in your head. In this case, you think about what you already know and you make a quick list of your ideas on a piece of paper. If you are writing a longer theme, or if you have to write a short theme about which you know nothing, you will probably have to do some research to find information. Some good places to find the research would be the library, the internet, the textbook, places like that. In this step, you're going to think about and gather ideas and information for your paper. You may end up with a list of what you know, and it's always a good idea to take notes or make note cards of all the information you are collecting. The second step of the tower strategy is organize it. In this step, you take your ideas and put them into an organized form. When anyone is planning to build a tower or another kind of building, they're going to make a blueprint. When you are writing a theme, you are also going to make a blueprint, but you are going to be making a blueprint that we're going to call a tower diagram. This is the tower diagram. It's going to look very overwhelming right now, but soon you're going to know how to use each part of it. So this diagram includes several parts. There are some parts that should look familiar to you from our paragraph diagram. For instance, this box up here are similar to the ones you learned to use on the paragraph diagram, and you'll use them in just the same way. You'll put your sequence, your point of view, and your tense up there. Other things that are similar, there's a box for the topic, and there are circles for showing the order in which details will be written. You'll use the topic box in these circles just like you did on the paragraph diagram. You'll use the circles to indicate the order in which the details will occur in each paragraph. And you'll use the squares over here to indicate the order in which you will discuss each subtopic. And then these 5 areas up here, here, and here, these are places for information of the 5 paragraphs. There's a place for information in the introductory paragraph. There's a place for information in each of the 3 detail paragraphs. And there's also a place for information with the concluding paragraph. You'll write the information from your notes into the boxes and on the lines. You will also decide on the order or sequence you will use as you write the information. I'll tell you more about this in our next lesson. Once you have a tower diagram filled out, you need to do the third step, which is write a draft. In this step, you'll use your blueprint or the tower diagram to help you build a rough draft of your theme. You will take care to write on every other line if you're writing on paper, so you'll be able to edit it later. You will also take care to write several sentences for each paragraph in the order in which you plan to write them, and make sure you use the tense and point of view that you planned. Finally, you will take care to put strong cement or topic and transition sentences in between the paragraphs. After you've constructed a rough draft, you're ready for the fourth step, evaluate it. Evaluating means to look at something carefully and see what's good and what's bad about it. And that's exactly what you'll be doing in this step. You'll be looking carefully at your draft to change it. You'll see what you've done well and what needs changing. This is a self-evaluation and fix-it-up step. First, you will check that all the necessary parts have been included. You'll check to see whether you have an introductory paragraph, the number of detailed paragraphs that you need, and a concluding paragraph. You'll check that each paragraph includes the kinds of sentences that it needs. For example, you'll check that you have connected the paragraphs with good transitions so that your tower will be strong. But there are some other things you will also check for, and I will explain them to you when you are actually working on learning how this step. You'll have a checklist to use that will help you do this part of the step, and you'll change the draft as needed. If you've written your draft on paper, hopefully on every other line, you will read your paper and make changes in meaning directly on your handwritten draft. If you have written a draft on a computer, you will need to print out the draft and make any changes directly on the printed draft. The last step of the strategy is called refine it. Refine means to improve, and that's what you're going to be doing, improving or perfecting your theme. You have already taken care of the big errors that might have been in your draft in the evaluate it step. Now it's time to take care of the smaller errors and to perfect your theme or polish it before you hand it in to the teacher. The first thing you will do is edit your theme. Edit means to find little errors and correct them. So you'll be looking for errors such as capitalization, punctuation, overall appearance, and spelling errors. Once you have evaluated the parts of the theme and made sure that your theme says what you want it to say, it's time to edit the little errors in your writing, like spelling and capitalization. If you aren't certain about something, you can always take your theme to someone and ask for help in finding errors. You'll be getting a lot of opportunities to help each other find errors in this class. When you find an error, you will circle it on your draft and write the correction right above the circled error. Once you have found the errors in your theme and corrected them, you will be ready to polish it. This means that you can make a final draft that is as perfect as you can make it. If you have handwritten your draft, you will recopy it onto new pieces of paper. If you have written your draft on the computer, you will go back to that computer file and make changes in it that correspond to the changes you have written on your printed draft. So some things you can do to polish your essay include: make sure it is clean and neat, make sure the margins are straight, make sure every sentence is complete, and then read it over one last time. Notice that the words think, organize, write, evaluate, and refine begin with the letters TOWER. That spells tower, and that connects to writing themes because writing themes is like building a tower. Each brick in the tower represents a paragraph, and the cement between bricks in the tower represents strong transitions between the paragraphs. So, to review, today we've begun to learn about the theme writing strategy. It consists of 5 steps that we can remember by using the mnemonic device TOWER. That's all there is to it. If you apply TOWER to each theme writing assignment, you will do very well. In the next lesson, you will practice naming the steps of the strategy, and we will make sure you understand what to do in each step.